different types of programs. Our first group for the evening is a group of young men who represent Tomball Senior High School, and another group of young men and they also represent their church, the First Baptist Church of Tomball, Texas. They have one thing in common in both places: some very excellent voices. So we're delighted to introduce to you a quartet, a barbershop quartet, if you will, composed of 4 young men, each of whom has won honors in music contests through their church and through the school. Our quartet is composed of Jim Butcher. Jim is a sophomore at Tomball Senior High School, was named to the All-State Choir through his high school program, and is also named to the All-State Choir for Baptist Youth. We have Richard Pace, a senior at Tomball Senior High School, who is a member of the regional choir through his high school, and an All-State member with the Baptist Church Youth. We have Brent Ward, a senior at Tomball Senior High School, also a regional choir member through his high school program, and an all-state choir member through his Baptist Church Youth program. And lastly, we have Ryan Pace, a sophomore at Tomball Senior High School, a regional choir member, as well as an all-state choir member through the Baptist Church Youth program. It's a real delight that I give to you this barbershop quartet from youth of Tomball, representing their high school and their church. Let's go, fellas.
Once a jolly swagman camped by a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he watched and waited till his billy called, "You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me." And he sang as he watched and waited till his billy called, "You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me." Down came a jumbuck to drink at the billabong. Up jumped the swagman and grabbed him with glee, and he sang as he stowed that jumbuck in his tucker bag, "You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me." And he sang as he stowed that jumbuck in his tucker bag, "You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me." Up rode the squatter, mounted on his thoroughbred. Up rode the troopers, 1, 2, 3. "Where's that jolly jumbuck you got in your tucker bag? You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Where's that jolly jumbuck you got in your tucker bag? You'll come a waltzing Matilda In the sky, the bright stars glittered, on the bank the pale moon shone, and 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home. I was seeing Nellie, I was seeing Nellie home, I was seeing darling Nellie home, and 'twas from Aunt Dinah's party I was seeing Nellie home. On my arm a soft hand rested light as ocean home, and 'twas from Aunt Dinah's party I was seeing Nellie home. I was seeing Nellie home. I was seeing darling Nellie, seeing Nellie home, and 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing. There's no place like home. On my lips a whisper trembled till it dared to come, and 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home. I was seeing Nellie home, seeing darling Nellie home, Nellie home, seeing darling Nellie, and 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home. On my life the posts were dawning, and those hopes that lived and grown, and 'twas from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie home. I was seeing Nellie, I was seeing Nellie, I was seeing Nellie, I was seeing Nellie from Aunt Dinah's quilting party I was seeing Nellie. I was seeing Nellie, I was seeing darling Nellie, I was seeing darling Nellie home. The willow tree sat and piped, I heard him sing of Aurelie, 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 made of golden hair. Sunshine came along with thee, and swallows in the air. From my heart the answer sweet and dear, on my lips there breathe on him, my dear Aurelie, Aurelie, made of golden hair. Sunshine came along with thee, and swallows in the air. Aurelie, Aurelie, made of golden hair. Sunshine came along with thee, and swallows in the air. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to I've got a home on the other side. Well, Ezekiel went down in the middle of the field, saw an angel working on a chariot wheel. Wasn't so particular about the chariot wheel. He just wanted to see how the chariot feels. Why don't you swing that chariot up and let me ride? Swing that chariot up and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, calm and easy. I've got a home on the other side. Well, Ezekiel went down and he got on board the chariot wheel, bumping down that road. Wasn't so particular about that bump in the road. He just wanted to lay down his heavy load. Why don't you swing that chair, stop and let me ride? Swing that chair, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, calm and easy. I got a home on the other side. Swing that chair, stop and let me ride. Swing that chair, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, calm and easy. I got a home on the other side. Swing that chair, stop and let me ride. Swing that chair, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, calm and easy. I got a home on the other side.
Great job. These young fellows represented the next group we have represent their church, the Lutheran Church, and their school, the Tomball Lutheran School.
On a left-hand star and a home you go to a do-side-do, go all the way around that. Face the corner, left down a man to your left hand, a partner right and another left friend. Friend, don't right and a left around, then you meet this girl, a promenade. Well, promenade, you go side to side like a bodega groom, and knock me right and a home you go, I'm in alive. Now join hands and you make that ring, circle to the left like everything, circle to the left and around you go. Now reverse trail the other way back in single file, home you go for about a mile. Now swing your part to go round and round. Four little ladies up to the middle and you make a ring. It's a ring, a pretty little ring. Change the ring to a right-hand star. Go back to the left and not too far. A left-hand star and a home you go to a do-side-do. Four jets to the middle, make a right-hand star in the middle of the town. Now back to the left and don't fall down and a home you go to a do-side-do. Now face the corner, left down a man to your left hand, a partner right and a right, a left friend. Friend, oh, right and a left around, gotta beat this girl in promenade. Promenade, go 2 by 2, walk the lady back home with you, and you promenade back home you go. Now 4 old gents, you make a ring, it's a ring, a pretty little ring. Now change the ring to a right-hand star. Go back to the left, but not too far, a left-hand star, and a home you go to a do-side-do. Then face the corner, left down a man to your left hand, a partner right and a right, a left friend. Friend right and a left around the ring, promenade along with a pretty little Jane. Promenade on a 2 by 2, and a home you go like you always do. Promenade it back home you go. Now join hands and make that ring, circle to the left like everything. Reverse trail the other way back in single file. Home you go for about a mile. Home you go and swing your long, go round and around. Then join hands and you make that ring, circle to the left. Then add him and a left with your left hand, a partner right or right, a left ring. Friend right and left around that ring, promenade that pretty little ching. Promenade 'em round the floor, home you go, like it did before. Promenade it back, home you go. Swing that girl right there, you know, then bow to your partner. Call it's all, let's hold her there for another call.
Perform the Maypole Dance. Nice hand for these young people. To add to the festive mood of May Day, children from Tomball Lutheran School present a contemporary dance, a parachute routine to the lively beat of a yellow sombrero. A nice hand for these young people, and a thanks to the quartet and boys and girls from Tomball Lutheran School for their very...
Happy to have all of you here tonight to our final performance of the pageant. If you haven't purchased one of these souvenir programs, you should. It gives you a rundown of the pageant, gives a list of most of the characters and committee members. Now, like any printing you do, you leave a few people out. So if you were left out, just write your name in and consider yourself in there. Today was Pioneer and Homecoming Day, and many of you were involved with this quite extensively. I'd like you to turn to the page that has the Pioneer and Homecoming Committee listings, and I'd like to make a change or a correction to the program. We have co-chairman for the Pioneer and Homecoming Day Committee. They are Sue Cox and Donna Covington. Donna's worked very hard, and her name was left off of there, and I'd like to give her a big hand for her help. Donna? This is a special group of awards, and these folks lined up in front are our recipients, and when you hear their credentials, you'll know why they won the awards. We'd like to begin the presentations with giving a presentation to the oldest active resident man in Tomball, who is 95 years old. This is active. This man is still active. His name is Newell Briscoe Anderson. Was born April 16, 1887 in Fort Bend County on the Johnson Ranch. Mrs. Johnson was the first owner of the Houston Post. Mr. Anderson came to Tomball September 12, 1908 as a telegraph operator for the BNBRR Railroad. Jokingly called Tumblebee Valley or Try to Be Virtuous. One of the early promoters of Tomball was Arthur E. Clark. He rode around in his car with a big black cat painted on the back with the slogan that Tomball was higher than a cat's back, meaning the elevation. The water tank at the railroad road was the only water around that was fit to drink. It was tested to be 96% pure and rated second in the nation for pure water. He remembers the people coming to the railroad water tank with buckets to get drinking water. Mr. Anderson began drilling water wells that were deeper and had been drilled around 150 wells with Umball when the city was established. And they established their free water policy at the camp. This was in 1935. Mr. Anderson's great uncle, Captain Andrew Briscoe, fought in the Battle of San Jacinto and was later the first county judge of Harris County. He is also a second cousin to our ex-governor Dolph Briscoe, also related to Frank Briscoe, who served as district attorney of Harris County. Mr. Anderson is the oldest member of the Masonic Lodge in Tomball and the oldest living Grand Master of the Masonic Lodge. At the age of 95, he is still interested in the city of Tomball, and he never fails to vote, and he still drives his own car. Did you vote today, Mr. Anderson? He voted today, so he hadn't missed a day yet. I'd like to present to you N.B. Anderson. Next, we have the award for the oldest active resident woman in Tomball. She is 92 years old. She is Ida Kluge Hildebrand. Was born January 18, 1890 in Germany. in a small town close to Berlin. While still an infant, her parents came to America and settled around Rose Hill. When Mrs. Hildebrandt was around 11 years old, she began attending the Nordorf Church, which was moved to Tomball as part of the Tomball Museum Center. She was married in that little church, and 2 of her children were baptized there. The family moved to Houston and did not return to this area until around 1968. They built a home on Zion Road. Ida continues to live there, keeping busy with household chores. She enjoys fishing and many other activities. She still drives her car and is an active member of the Salem Lutheran Church. This is Ida Kluge Hildebrandt. The next award is for the oldest active native-born man, 84 years old. Theodore Teddy Vogt was born January 27, 1898 in Huff Smith, Texas. He married Sophie Michael of Tomball May 30th, 1920. He jokingly recalls that the marriage license cost $1.50. And with his marriage to Sophie, he also got his mother-in-law and a niece, making them come to 50 cents each. Both Mr. and Mrs. Vogt were from large families, each having 5 girls and 5 boys. When they built their home, which is now on James Street, they had the distinction of having the first indoor bathroom in Tomball. Mr. Vogt has also managed to farm as well as being involved in business. He is still active as a building inspector and a life member of the Lutheran Church. They have seen many changes in our town. I recall Mr. Vogt had a large cornfield. He still has a small. That cornfield was located where our hospital is now located. So they messed up your cornfield, Mr. Vogt. The next honorees are the couple married the longest. That's 69 years and 7 months. Think about that for a while. Mr. Floyd King Rose and Susie Anna Bishop Rose, who happen to be my neighbors, and I'm proud of it. Mr. Floyd King Rose was born in Big Flat, Arkansas on May 13, 1895, the youngest of 14 children. Susie Anna Bishop, also one of 14 children, was born in Robertson County, Texas on May 18, 1895. They were married September 15, 1912 at Haskell, Texas on Sunday afternoon. They drove to the minister's home in a buggy. They were accompanied by his sister and her beau in another buggy. The preacher stood between the 2 buggies to perform the ceremony. The Roses had no honeymoon as they both had to pick cotton the next day. Another memory of theirs is the new high-top button shoes they had both wore and were very proud of. The Roses came to Tomball in July 1933. They ran a dining hall on 149 close to the Uncle Camp. Then in 1935 and 1936, operated the first school cafeteria. Floyd Rose worked on paving the first street in Tomball, from 4 corners to the railroad tracks. He took the postmaster's exam in February of 1936 and began his duties as postmaster in October 1936. He served in that position until July 1952, then transferred to the rural route. He was rural postman for 13 years before retiring in 1965. Both Mr. and Mrs. Rose are active in the Baptist Church, and Mr. Rose belongs to the Masonic Lodge. I present the Roses. Okay, we now have the oldest active native-born woman, 91 years old. This is Amelia Hendricks Cron, born March 4th, 1891 at Rose Hill in Harris County, about a mile from her present home. She married Albert E. Cron August 22nd, 1912 at the Salem Lutheran Church. They went to the church in a wagon drawn by 2 mules. Later went to Klein to visit with the relatives, then on to Houston. The days before the wedding, she and her family baked pies and cakes, getting ready for the dinner after the ceremony. To this union was born 2 sons, Arthur and Erwin, who still live in the area. She still keeps house and attends the church, in which she was christened, confirmed, baptized, and married. Attends the retired group called the Teenagers. Teenagers. It's fine. I'd like to read a list of honorable mention. There's some pretty good second place people in our community. Some are a bit older, but were able to attend, and therefore were not considered truly active. Mr. Raymond Horton is 99 years old and is in Autumn Hills Nursing Home. Mrs. Catherine Coleman is 99 years old in Winslow Nursing Home. Mrs. Ella Holdreed is 93 years old. Mr. Fred Swartz, 91 years old. Mrs. August Scholl, 91 years old. Mrs. G.W. Brannigan, 89 years old, due 90 in December. Mrs. Ethel Browder, 90 years old. Mr. and Mrs. W.A. Carroll have been married for 69 years this month. You beat them to 7 months, didn't you? Mr. and Mrs. Albert Swartz have been married for 67 years. Let's give these people a hand also. There are many other couples who have been married for 60 years or more. Why don't some of y'all stand up that are married for 60 years or more? See how many are here. Only 2 or 3. I guess Tomball is a pretty healthy place to live by these records. This is the final night of our pageant. We would like to thank you and the other people who have helped support this Diamond Jubilee, which I feel has been very successful. It has done 2 or 3 of the main things that it was intended to do. That is to celebrate our birthday, 75 years, to have some fun, and most of all, to find some new leaders and have an opportunity to get together and plan events and perform programs. And most of you who have been involved in the Jubilee, I feel, will take something away from this you'll remember for many, many years. Thank you very much. Great idea. We'd like to have our recipients to stand and turn toward the audience so you can see all.
Rhythm Cloggers. Okay, gang, that's going to conclude our performance for tonight. I'd like to introduce to you one more time the Rhythm Cloggers from Houston, Texas. Y'all come on out and check them out, gang. What do y'all think about that? Did you enjoy it? Well, hopefully next year you'll have us back out again. We enjoyed dancing for you tonight. And last but not least, our caller for tonight, Mr. Ray Butler. Let's have a big hand for him. This was sort of a special night for us. This is the first time either one of us has ever worked together, and I think it went very well. Especially with the cooperation from you people. We thank you very much. Y'all have a good evening. Also, if any of y'all are interested in the type of dancing that you've seen...
Yes, sir. I thank thee, O God, for giving her such birth. Her mountains and valleys, her clear flowing streams. America, my country, you're the land of my dreams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Greater Tomball Area Diamond Jubilee Committee and the citizens of Tomball, Texas, take great pride in presenting the gigantic outdoor production, Tomball 75th Jubilee.
In a reverent dedication to the early settlers of our area, and as a salute to the pioneers who followed in the years of our progress, we present the citizens of Tomball, upon whose shoulders will fall the responsibility of our continued progress.
Vision to reality, a community rich in accomplishment and strong in pride. This pride is shown as our citizens assemble in the true spirit of festivity to help us all remember the anniversary that makes Tomball 75 years young.
Preceding our First Lady is an important group of distinguished women who have helped make possible the audience witnessing this evening's performance. In fifth place, we find Laura Corley.
Dorothy David holds down the fourth place position.
Our third position is held by Melba Graham.
Second honors brings recognition to Betty Fry.
Heir apparent to the honored position, her name, Terry Griffin.
Now for the long-awaited moment, the arrival of the greater Tomball area Diamond Jubilee First Lady.
The Greater Tomball Area Diamond Jubilee First Lady, Margie Jones.
Thank you. With much gratitude, I wish to take this opportunity to thank all of the people who helped to make this wonderful event in my life a reality. This time, this place, this setting, I will remember always. As your First Lady, I welcome you to this, our big, wonderful birthday celebration. Thank you.
Tomball commemorates their 75 years during this festive time. Tonight marks an anniversary that we will all remember. With a humble dedication to the ever-growing frontiers of the next century, our entire cast steps forward to say, Happy birthday, Tomball!
A festive year. A year to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the platting and the dedication of the town of Tomball. This anniversary provides us with a rare moment, one in which we pause in our busy modern lives to look back and to appreciate the heritage we have. Tonight, we're going to review the highlights of Tomball's colorful past. Some of these events you probably already know. Some you may not. This is a historical presentation with players and costumes and music and props. This is a stage, a raised platform, a backdrop, a few lights, a sound system, wood, nails, paint, canvas, a little rope. Not a very complicated piece of architecture. Quite simple, in fact. And yet, Shakespeare said, it is all the world. We hope that in this production, we can not only inform and entertain you, but through our efforts, you may experience some of the heart and purpose of those who contributed to our heritage. While reviewing the past, look at it. Combine our fabled history with the challenge of noon today. As we move to a tomorrow of our own choosing, take stock of our present status. Prepare to enter our future with courage and conviction.
In this vast void called the universe, stars may have reflected on the Indians who wandered around what is now Tomball, on the land between the Brazos and the San Jacinto rivers. The few records available are fragmentary, but it is known that among the many tribes or nations, the Karankawas and the Arcoqueezac Indians occupied this area, which is now Harris and Montgomery counties.
Wait, it is now time for me to tell of the Indian that is so often wrongly portrayed in our records of the past. We of the Karankawas claim this land. We have used these hunting grounds for many seasons. We roamed this land, hunting, fishing, and farming. The buffalo, the deer, and the bear were in abundance, as were the many smaller fur-bearing animals. Along the many waterways, the fish were plentiful. From the Gulf, we got oysters, clams, scallops, turtles, and underwater plants. We were happy here. Our red brothers around us respected us and our tribal lands. We lived in peace with them. We loved this land and our freedom, and yet we are still remembered as aborigines, savages, men of the red skin who cluttered the dark part of those decades before the advent of the white man. I am deep and perhaps sound slightly embittered, for as I look to the horizon, I know that we will become people of yesterday, one that used to exist in this land.
Is it not true that you are constantly training your young men for savage war?
Yes, our young men must learn the ways of battle and the hunt. We must feed and clothe our families. If this is savage, then you may be right.
I noticed that your women seem to be doing all the work while the men sit around the campfire.
This is the way of our people. Our women work our meager crops of maize, cure our hides, and make the pottery from the red clay. Our young men listen to the old warriors so that they will know of our accomplishments. For we have no written language.
Why do your people now gather? Is this in preparation for war?
No, this is not a war gathering. My people are preparing to give thanks to our gods. I must join them now. They are about to begin.
The Indians had many gods. Among them were the deities representing earth, fire, water, feast, famine, and the dance.
The chief now summons the young people to come forth and dance the ceremonial to the supreme god, Manitou.
note that most Indians believed in the supernatural and the control of human affairs by both good and evil powers. The fires of the sun were the supreme object of worship, for the Indians saw that every bird, every leaf, and every living thing turned to the sun as a source of life and growth.
It was these children of nature who were occupying this land in the decades before the white man.
For many years, the Karankawas lived in peace with their Indian brothers, warring when intruded upon, hunting, fishing, and tending their simple crops.
The early exploration of this vast land was made by both Spain and France. Spain in search of gold, and France to find better waterways to carry on the highly lucrative business of fur trapping and trading.
The early explorations under de Pineda in 1519 and the shipwreck Cabeza de Vaca. The coastal section was early known to the Spanish. It was in the year 1530s when the survivors of a shipwrecked vessel, lying naked and dying in the cold, discovered by the Indians, were carried to the village and given warmth and shelter. The Karankawas was the tribe that rescued and nursed them. Even though the relations started friendly, this feeling did not last. The Spaniards felt obligated to bring civilization, and in doing so, condemned the Indian way of life.
Further exploration of Mexico and the Mississippi River and the settlements by both France and Spain from 1685 to 1749 was an attempt to lay claim to this territory.
The American Revolution and the troubles in Europe slowed the settlement of the lands west of the Mississippi.
Hold it just a minute. Settlement might have been slow, but there were many fur traders and trappers who traveled over this territory during these early years. The Indians were friendly, and their furs were of good quality. Traders traveled from Canada and from the settlements to the south and east. Small trading posts were maintained on the waterways where the Indians and the white men could meet and carry out their business. In the year 1803, the United States purchased all the land claimed by France for a total of $15 million. The Louisiana Purchase, it was called. American interest in East Texas increased after the Louisiana Purchase, when several expeditions were undertaken. But all American claims to the area were renounced by the 1819 treaty with Spain. After Mexico won her independence from Spain in 1821, Moses Austin was chosen to help settle the northwest section of the territory. Moses died at the beginning of the endeavor. His son, Stephen Fuller Austin, was given concession to colonize the old 300.
In 1823, land along the Brazos River was settled by Americans under Stephen Austin, who had received a grant from the Mexican government.
By 1825, another 500 families were added, many in the Tomball area.
Large sections of land in this area belonged to three men: Joseph House, William Hurd, and Ralph Hubbard.
Among the early settlers was Abram Roberts, settling on the portion of his land that straddled Spring Creek.
Yep, came here from Kentucky, and my plantation was known as New Kentucky, although some called it Fork in the Roads.
Mr. Roberts, did you come here alone?
Oh, no. Several families came at this time. Christian and Mary Dewar established a trading post. Came here from France and brought several slave families with them. Then there was P.K. Rose, Joseph House, and several more.
Are there other areas nearby that are being settled?
You mean right in this area? Yes, there were the Deckers there from Canada. Came to this area in 34. The Christoph Brodegums from Waldeck, Germany, and the Bakers, the Winklers, and the Weindorfs, all in the Decker Prairie area.
Are these all of the settlers in the area?
Oh, no. Just in and around here. There's the eastern settlement with Huffsmith and the southeast settlement with Willow Creek and other communities.
Settlers came from New Orleans, Pittsburgh, some came from Virginia, Tennessee, as well as France, and many from Germany.
The population grew, and the once Indian paths which had been widened by the many who had passed before became trails over which wagons could travel. The settlers, mostly farmers, were looking for land, and land here was plentiful. There was no real danger of Indian attacks in this area, but the elements had to be contended with, and food and shelter had to be secured.
It's getting on towards evening. What say we stop here for a while?
Might just as well. The trail up ahead looks like we may have to do a little clearing before we can get these here wagons through. We have only about one more day to travel, though. Pass the word on down the line.
All right, folks. Let's stop here for a bit. Let's get supper going. Some of you men come with me and we'll clear the trail up ahead.
The wagons halt, and almost at once the travelers, weary from the long day of riding, start their chores. Each member of the group has a job to do and seems glad to get out of the hard and dusty wagons.
Each wagon has a story to tell, just like that mother concerned with her young'un.
All right, Nellie. Now you come along with me. You've been a-riding a long time, and I know you. Now get in this wagon this very minute. I don't want any emergencies today. And you, Sam, you and that bunch of good-for-nothing loafers, get up and get a chicken out of the crate. If and we're going to share the pot, we're going to have to put something in it. Oh, you can't do nothing right. Just wait till I get my mitts on you. You'll be sorry. Nellie, you go out and play and don't bother me. You know, folks, there are times when husbands and kids are more trouble than they're worth.
Ma, will you make Otto Crew quit picking on me? He just won't leave me alone.
Now, Otto, you just behave yourself. That's no way to treat a lady. Why don't you take Jenny Sue for a walk down by the creek?
Folks, gather around here a minute. I've got something to say. You all realize this will probably be our last evening together for a while. Tomorrow I'll start showing you new home sites, and there'll be lots of work to do. Oh, by the way, I just heard some nice news about a sweet little lady here who's having a birthday today. She don't want none of you to know about it, but anyway, happy birthday, Granny.
Now, what's all this? Posies for Granny. Well, bless your little heart. They're all so pretty.
Here, Granny, wrap this around your shoulders. Annie here, she worked out the pattern and we both took turns a knitting on it for you. And if you find a dropped stitch, it more than likely happened when we forded the creek and the axle broke.
Land sakes alive, folks. This is mighty exciting.
Let's celebrate. Let's have a good time. It's Granny's birthday and we're gonna dance.
Come on, everybody, let's dance. This calls for a real hoop and a holler and a Jim Dandy breakdown. You don't need no fancy steps. Just grab your gal and let nature take its course. Anybody and everybody can get that hoedown feeling, even you.
up your heels.
Just mind your own business, young man. You stick to what's writ on your paper, and I'll stick to mine hitting.
Oh, come on, Granny. Perk up. Give us a step.
Fish up, will ya? You know I'm too darn old to cut the mustard.
Well, if you do, we'll get you a new pillow for your rocker.
Laddie, you just bought yourself a dancer.
The land was divided and the settlements grew. Soon the axe, the hoe, the shovel, and the plow transformed the wilderness into prosperous farms.
Events moved fast, especially in the Mexican state of Texas. Colonization, which was stimulated by General Santa Anna, was showing results. Settlers from the United States were moving into the area, but they were not happy with the way things were being administered by the Mexican government.
In taverns and in homes all over the area, men discussed what was uppermost on their minds.
Gentlemen, the weight of this thing is heavy on my shoulders. It was by way of me that General Santa Anna invited and induced the Anglo-American settlers to come to Texas. These settlers were promised that if they settled in the Mexican state of Texas, they would enjoy constitutional liberty and a republic system. Santa Anna has not kept his word.
I've just gotten myself a wife. When we have children, there is not even education available. It is tyranny. The Mexican army has dissolved by force of arms the Congress of Coahuila and Texas. We are denied the right to worship, trial by jury, and even our right to take up our own arms.
I think that you all agree that we should set down our grievances and the acts of injustice that we have against the Mexican government and Santa Anna. I don't know what good it will do, but we must at least try.
We should form an army of settlers and volunteers from the neighboring states and drive those Mexicans across the river.
Meetings such as this were being held throughout Texas and the bordering states.
Many men who later became legends were principals in the fight for Texas independence. Stephen F. Austin, Sam Houston, Davy Crockett, and Jim Bowie. These were only a few who traveled through this area in those troubled times.
During the war for Texas independence, men from this area joined the struggle and formed a society called Friends to Drive Mexicans from Texas, and with a mounted rifle company went into battle.
Sam Houston and his troops camped near the fork in the road on Abram Roberts' place, called New Kentucky, and for a few days rested before their attack on San Jacinto. Sam Houston chose to take the right fork in the road that led to Harrisburg, on to San Jacinto, and into history with his decisive victory over the Mexican army.
In 1836, Texas became a republic.
In the same year, Harris County was created and in 1837 organized. It was named for John R. Harris, who settled Harrisburg, just east of Houston.
Montgomery County was created in 1837 and was named for the first known white settler of that area, Andrew Montgomery, who established a trading post on Town Branch.
Most Texans favored annexation to the United States, but such a step was opposed by anti-slavery forces in the North. The 9-year-old republic was annexed and elections were held. And on December 29, 1845, Texas became the 28th state in the Union.
Yep, it's me again. just want to bring you up to date by filling in some of the facts about what was happening in the area. The nucleus of the town of Tomball is situated on one of the land grants issued to the heirs of William Hurd. 1,600 acres were granted to him on January the 5th, 1838, for his services in the Army of the Republic of Texas. By the time Texas became a state, there were settlements in Spring Creek, Rose Hill, Decker Prairie, Willow Creek, and other individual farms and crossroads. There was a stage stop called Altamira, where a regular schedule was maintained and brought travelers to this area. Most of these pioneering families were almost self-sustaining, but on occasion would travel many miles to the larger vicinities to sell their goods and to take advantage of the services offered.
Mr. Spotlight Man, Mr. Spotlight Man, put that spot on me. Thank you. Now give me that nice pink color. I want to tell you of the social life during those early days. Most of the activities centered around the churches, but each community would have gatherings and socials. Sometimes a party would be given at one of the larger ranches or plantations. On special occasions, such as weddings or holidays, people would travel for days just to attend one of these events. I'm on my way to a social now. Why don't you join me?
progress was also being made. Perhaps its definition might be better clarified as political history.
The gathering storm of protest and indignation was growing in the Cotton States. States' rights became a burning issue. Talk was of withdrawing from the Union, and a tension prevailed through the states.
Public meetings were held throughout the area.
I have grave news, gentlemen. Grave news. South Carolina has just seceded from the Union. Jefferson Davis is meeting in Montgomery. I advocate immediate meeting of our representatives to initiate procedures to suppress this blemish on our rights.
Elections were held, and by the 1st of February 1861, 7 southern states formed a new union called the Confederate States of America.
Then came the call to arms.
Now, are there any more who are willing to give a few months of their time to defend the new Confederacy? Thank you. Report to the officer.
The fire had been ignited. The cannons roared. Residents gave rifles, shotguns, and pistols to arm the volunteers. Others contributed horses, saddles, blankets, and other equipment. And off they went to war, with flying flags, rolling drums, and heads held high.
Volunteers from this area rallied to the Confederate cause. The Atascocita stage stop became an important assembly and arms depot. Cannon powder for the Confederate Army was manufactured at the Spring Creek plant. Dr. John Gambrill, half-brother of Thomas Henry Ball, was assigned to remain in Huntsville to practice with the families of the soldiers in Walker and adjacent counties. Towards the end of the war, the doctor sold his entire cotton crop to purchase needed supplies for his patients. The powder mill at Spring Creek was destroyed by an explosion, killing 3 employees.
Courage. Courage was seldom equaled and marked with historic valor. And out of the war came stories that would make the mark of remembrance for generations to come.
I don't know, boys. This man needs to be operated on at once to save his life.
My leg! My leg!
No time to save him. Quick, apply the tourniquet. We'll have to do it here. Do what? Amputate. Quick, apply the tourniquet. My bag, fast. We're losing ground.
You'll have to move. The battle's getting closer.
We can't move him now. It's a man flying. We'll take our chances. Anybody got any whiskey?
I do not.
Good. Give him a mouthful. You'd better pray.
No! No! No!
The shock has made him pass out. God have mercy.
Then the voices of Ward faded out. It was over. Silent guns, broken men, a nation split into 1,000 pieces. Men were tired of killing. Women were tired of waiting and waiting and waiting. The great courage and determination of both sides had not ended.
General Robert E. Lee, staunch and steady, yet humble in his heartfelt mourning for the suffering, upon seeing the hopelessness of the conflict, issued his farewell address to his troops.
After 4 years of arduous service, marked by unsurpassed courage and fortitude, the Army of Northern Virginia has been compelled to yield to overwhelming numbers and resources. I need not tell the survivors of so many hard-fought battles who have remained steadfast to the last that I have consented to the result from no distrust of them. With increased admiration of your constancy and devotion to your country, and a grateful remembrance of your kind and generous consideration of myself, I bid you an affectionate farewell.
To the people of Texas in 1865, exhausted by the war and stunned by the overthrow of their economic and social system, the overwhelming facts were confusion and hardship. But through the trying years of Reconstruction, the people of this area survived and began a new way of life.
The strength of the pioneers, their persistence in the face of overwhelming odds, was founded on a simple faith in God and their fellow men.
From the beginning of the settlement of Texas, freedom of religion was an important factor. When the early settlers first moved into this area, they would have to travel miles to the surrounding towns to attend the church of their choice.
The Salem Lutheran Church of Rose Hill is the oldest religious institution in northwest Harris County, being established in 1852. The first pastor of the church was Reverend Gottlieb Ebinger. In 1857, a simple hand-hewn wood frame building was erected.
St. Mary's Catholic Church was started in 1862, when a Catholic chapel was built on the Helfrich's land on Spring Creek.
1866 was the year of the Willow Creek Baptist Church, organized on the south bank of the Willow Creek in the schoolhouse.
Rose Hill United Methodist Church began as a Spring Creek mission of the Methodist Episcopal Church under the leadership of Reverend Schuler.
In 1876, the Lutheran Evangelical Church was built on land donated by the Schmidts of the Nydorf community.
Zion Lutheran Mission was organized at Huffsmith in 1906 with 18 families of the Salem Lutheran Church of Rose Hill.
In 1910, 10 Brethren Church members assembled in the Granger Hall to establish their place of worship.
As early as 1908, Tomball families would meet in homes or hotel lobbies for worship services. In the early part of 1909, a small group of Baptists and Methodists began meeting in the WOW Hall, and worship services were conducted jointly.
Soon, plans were being made for a Union Church building. Property was purchased, and in the spring of 1910, the building was completed. The name was changed to the Tomball Methodist Episcopal Church, South.
In 1954, the original Union Church building was replaced by a modern sanctuary called the Tomball United Methodist Church.
The First Baptist Church purchased property in 1914. It was not until 1922 that the building was completed.
The Catholic Church of Tomball was built on lots donated by the Linebarger brothers for materials brought from the church in Rose Hill, which had been demolished by a hurricane.
The Tomball Church of Christ began in 1920 with the first meeting place in the Bauer School. It wasn't until 1938 that the first building was completed.
The first organizational business meeting for the Assembly of God Church was held in 1936, and a small one-room church building was completed that same year.
The Episcopal Church of the Good Shepherd had its beginnings in 1955. For many years, they met in various places around the city. The groundbreaking took place in December of 1956.
As your pastor, I am pleased that so many of the faithful are in attendance. Let us pray and give thanks to the Lord for this day. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into
Tomball area today is proud of its churches and their many organizations.
I would like to have a word with you.
Can't you see that I'm busy? We're right in the middle of a performance. You can't break into the show.
Don't tell me what I can and what I can't do. I'm in the school scene and I've been waiting backstage to go on with the school kids, and I don't think I can be back there with those monsters another minute.
Now, ma'am, it's not time for the history of the schools in Tomball. We're just up to the 1880s.
Don't start mamming me, young man. I know that we will be out of sequence, but if you want to hear about the history of the schools, you had better put us on right now.
Well, schools were important. So, I guess we can present this part of our history now. You get the children ready. I'll get the scene.
I knew that you would see it my way. Kids, we're on!
As you can see, we will now tell the history of the schools. Talk about bossy women. And they want equal rights. No wonder the states are not ratifying that amendment.
Books, learning, children. Oh, what a day this has been.
Are you a part of the history of education?
My dear sir, I was one of the first teachers in the schools in Harris County.
We'd like to hear the facts concerning time, place, etc.
Oh, the facts. The facts. Well, long before Tomball was even settled, there were several schools around this area. The first school that we would find first recorded is the Salem Lutheran School of Rose Hill, which was established in 1870. The Rose Hill County School District Number 5 was built in 1894. The Nydorf County School Number 7 was located near the Trinity Evangelical Church and had all grades. The Bauer County School Number 39 was established in the 1880s. Three of Huff Smith's early schools were rural schools of Harris County: Indian Hill School, Cooper Hill School, and the first Negro School of Huff Smith. The first school in Tomball was conducted in 1908 in the Woodman of the World building. By 1910, Tomball had built a two-story red brick school which had 2 rooms downstairs and an auditorium upstairs. From 1910 to 1928, Tomball School District Number 31 consisted of 4 schools: Tomball, Cooper Hill, Indian Hill, and the Negro School at Huff Smith. After oil was discovered in Tomball in 1933, Tomball School District grew rapidly. In 1935, the original 1910 red brick school was replaced with a new buff brick building containing grades 1 through 11. In the early part of 1938, construction began on a high school in the 700 block of West Main. Oh, I'm late, and I should be there on time. I've got to open up. I've got the only key.
Are you going to class now?
Oh, no, this is just a rehearsal for the recitation class. It's parents' night, and you know how parents love to see their children perform. Why don't you come along and see? right, children, settle down. First, I will check the roll. Let's see. All of the girls are here. And the boys? Oh, there's one boy missing. It's that Herb Williams again. Oh, that boy. Children, let us rehearse our presentation for Parents' Night. Your mothers and fathers will be here, so do your best.
Good evening, mothers and fathers and friends. My poem is Little Orphan Annie by James Whitcomb Riley. Little orphan Annies come to our house to stay and wash the cups and saucers up and brush the crumbs away and shoos the chickens off the porch and dust the hearth and sweep and shoos the chickens off the porch. Why aren't you moving, Alfred?
'Cause I'm laying an egg.
And make the fire and bake the bread and earn her board and keep. And all us other children, when the supper things is done, we sit around the kitchen fire and has the mostest fun a-listening to the witch tales that Annie tells about. And the goblins will get you if you don't watch out. And little orphan Annie says, when the blaze is blue and the lamp wick sputters and the wind goes and you hear the crickets quit and the moon is gray and the lightning bugs and dew is all screeched away. You better mind your parents and your teachers fond and dear and cherish them that loves you and dry the orphans' tear. And help the poor and needy ones that clusters all about, or the goblins will get you if you don't watch out.
Teacher, look at Johnny's face. He's got little marks all over it.
Let me see, John. Why, it's measles!
Measles?
Class dismissed.
That's one way to go fishing on a pretty afternoon.
Decker Prairie joined the Tomball School District in 1940. Kindergarten was taught for the first time in 1950. In 1954, the Rose Hill community was annexed to the Tomball School District.
On February 7th, 1961, fire raged through the high school on Main Street. School was dismissed for 4 days. The high school students were moved to the elementary school and classes resumed. Forced to build a new high school, a bond issue passed on the first vote. In 1962, the new high school auditorium and cafetorium were dedicated.
In 1973, a new stadium was built on Sandy Lane, and beginning the 1974 school year, a new high school opened on this same campus site.
Today, the Tomball Independent School District encompasses an area of 84 square miles, with 5 school campuses.
Now let us get back to the order of things. Growth in the 1880s and 1890s was very slow in what is now the Tomball area. The small communities in the area were busy with their everyday lives. Farming and small businesses were keeping up with the rest of the state. Entertainment and activities were centered around the home and the communities. Ice cream socials and box suppers were popular activities in the summer. Picnics on the 4th of July were always well attended, and people came from miles around to attend. It was an era known as the gay 90s.
Yes, it was a happy, carefree era. Hearts were young and gay, even the hearts of the old. Here you are with your hair slicked down and your mustache waxed. The young people are all dressed up in their starched clothes. You just had to come to the 4th of July picnic to sample your best girl's lunch.
What an exciting day it is. And there goes a bicycle built for 2. What fun they seem to be having.
I think that we're just in time for the organized games. The men are lining up for a tug of war.
selection. Just listen to those girls. And of course the winners are well taken care of.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as chairman of today's activities, we come to the highlight of this year's events. Our beloved Mrs. Dogood reading some of her original poems.
Thank you very much, poetry lovers. For my first selection, my newest composition entitled, If I Were a Firefly. If I were a firefly up in the sky, to light your way I always would try. I would flit to the left and then to the right. I'd light my light with all my might.
What's this? Oh, it's a horseless carriage. You know you see more and more of those contraptions lately.
Hey, you can't race that thing so fast around here. You'll scare the horses and the women to death.
Look, the blame thing stopped on him.
Oh no, not motor trouble at a time like this. And to think, I paid good money for this contraption.
Honey, I do wish you would get this thing started. Of all times for this to happen, on our wedding day.
Why don't you crank her up again?
Honey, I told you this thing wasn't safe. I'm going home to my mother.
I guess she won't start. Let's give him a push.
Get a horse!
Get a horse!
Ladies and gentlemen, I see we have time for another one of my original poems. This one is specially for the young people, entitled, Were I But a Bee. Were I but a bee, then don't you see that a very busy bee I'd have to be, for I'd fly all around on the days that were sunny, and I'd be your bee, and you'd be my honey.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Dogood. And now, folks.
But I'm not through yet.
Yes, you are, ma'am. Yes, you are. Folks, I know it's been a warm day, and I think it's time for the refreshments. Now, if you boys will bring out the ice cream. Ice cream! Mmm!
Oh, Diana, I can't wait to get to the ice cream. Ice cream is anything more delectable than ice cream. Why, even the most respectable eat ice cream. It's wonderful on the summer's afternoon in June. Ice cream, the recipe something serious, but ice cream makes everyone so delirious that ice cream is certainly worth the trouble that it takes. What does it take, Diana? It takes a tin pan, you pack it with some ice, rock, salt, sprinkle it on twice, a big spoon to see if it tastes nice. You've got me a quiver, I'm starting to shiver for ice cream. The mixing is most enjoyable, ice cream, and no one is unemployable in our scheme. You gotta keep on the double till it's set. You bet. Choose, mix, favorite or tight.
Turn, crank.
Can't you get it right? Will you help?
This is no time to fight. Keep on with the turning and soon you'll be turning our ice cream. Is not the proof of tastiness, but ice cream can never be made with tastiness, and ice cream is wonderful on a summer's afternoon.
Now, Now, if you men aren't too sticky and filled up with ice cream, it's time for the sack race. Will the men please pick up a sack and join the merriment?
Come on, George. Let's see some speed this year.
Let's go, Henry. I know you can do it.
On your mark, get set, go!
Will the winner please report to the platform?
The winner runs forward, but one man accuses him of cheating. Uh-oh, there's going to be a fight. And here comes the strong arm of the law. What happened to the policeman's pants?
One sweet day she left her dear old mammy. Sweet potatoes and her southern
The sun is going down and the people are getting ready to go home. Somewhere there are a few voices singing, a banjo playing, and the weary people are trying to tie up the loose ends that come with every family outing. It's going home time.
Junior, where are you?
It's nothing, girls. Nothing at all.
Mr. Policeman, here's your pants. Here's your pants. Junior, where are you, Junior?
Mabel, I want my pants! I want my pants, Mabel!
It was nothing, girls. I sent to Sears and Roebuck and learned myself.
Mr. Policeman, here's your pants. Here's your pants. Junior,
Yep, you're right. It's goodbye, Junior. Goodbye to a fabulous era. You see, it's time to say goodnight, gay 90s. We'll remember you, always.
At the turn of the century, this area was open range and prairie land. For many years, the pioneer farmers and cattlemen thought of transportation only in terms of mules and wagons. Then steel began streaking across the country, and railroad became a magic word with settlers. As early as 1899, H. Masterson, joined later by N.T. Masterson and Eldred Cage, bought into the Ralph Hubbard survey. On April the 14th, 1906, the Valley Route Town Site and Loan Company also bought into the Hurd and Hubbard survey and, in conjunction with the railroad, platted and established a town.
Ezra! Can you hear me?
Yeah, Luke, I can hear you.
Well, those real estate men from T says they want us to lay out a town right here along the right-of-way of the T and BV Railroad. Says they're going to build a town right here. Says they're going to name it Peck, after the chief civil engineer of the T and BV. Says they're going to sell lots. And Ezra, move back. Ezra, move back just one more step. You know you lose more good boys that way.
From Fort Worth to Galveston, a distance of 324 miles of track, there were 40 train stations. Peck, which was one of these, was a freight terminal with a depot, telegraph office, water station, 2 section houses, 4 stock pens with water and chute facilities, and a 5-stall roundhouse.
On January 27, 1907, the first freight train rode through Peck with Jim Posey as engineer. The first passenger train came through on March the 3rd of the same year, and people gathered in the streets to witness this memorable event.
Hold that train! Hold that train! I've just got to get on that train!
Are these yours, ma'am?
Why, of all the nerve!
Let me tell you a little bit about the history of this period.
Do you know this area well?
You might agree that I was sort of important to the forming of Peck. You see, I'm a lawyer, a banker, and served 3 terms as mayor of Huntsville. In 1896, I was elected to the United States Congress from the 1st District of Texas and served as a member of the House of Representatives until 1903. I moved to Houston in 1902 and resumed my law practice. I became an attorney for the Trinity and Brazos Valley Railroad and did much work in bringing the railroad through this area.
What did you say your name was?
I didn't, but no one will remember me. My name is Thomas Henry Ball.
In May of 1907, William Malone Realty Company purchased the land called Peck from Masterson and Cage of the Valley Route Townsite and Loan Company.
It was December the 2nd, 1907. The Peck train station name was dropped. The town of Tomball was constituted and dedicated to the public by William Malone.
Tomball now had its name, and the town began to grow.
My name is Hoffman, Charles Frederick Hoffman. I can tell you of the early times of Tomball. In 1907, I bought some property in the town of Peck, brought my wife here, and for a while we lived in a tent on the southeast corner of Main and Railroad Streets. Started a general merchandise store and later expanded to include a butcher shop, a funeral home, a private bank, and a saloon. It was I who built the first home in Peck at 200 North Elm.
Were there many businesses here in 1907?
Not when I first arrived, but it didn't take long. In 1908, R.O. Mahaffey built a 2-story building located on the east side of the railroad. The living quarters were upstairs with groceries and feed downstairs. In 1910, Ben Bogues built a 2-story building on 109 North Main. That one is still standing. There were hotels, the Brick Hotel, the Townsend Hotel, the Delaney Hotel, and the Kleins, all doing a good business.
How come there were so many early hotels?
I guess because we were on the railroad and this was a new town. People had to have some place to live until they built their homes.
Were there other businesses in Tomball?
Let me see. R.G. Terrell had a dry goods store. Charlie Corgi had a livery stable over on South Cherry. Dr. J.J. Trickle and Dr. J.F.W. Metzler came to Tomball in 1908 and started their practice. Ed Mooney was the first postmaster and set up the first post office in the W.O.W. building on March 5th, 1908.
The W.O.W. building? What kind of a building is that?
It was probably the most important building in Tomball and one of the first. It was located in the middle of the 100 block of South Walnut near the present fire station. It was built by the Woodmen of the World Insurance Organization, and the first school conducted classes there. The first church in Tomball assembled there. The first post office was located there, and it was the meeting place for all community activities. I gotta be going. Can't stand around here and talk.
Have you got an important business meeting?
Oh, no. I gotta get to the dressing room. I gotta make a costume change. Going to play the first mayor, and that scene is coming right up.
By the year 1912, Tomball was quite a thriving little community. Just the year before, electricity and the telephone were introduced to the new town. They even had their own newspaper. The railroad boom for Tomball lasted only 8 years. By 1914, the approaching European conflict was felt throughout the United States. Many businesses were disrupted, some collapsed. With the sudden decline in shipments, the Trinity and Brazos Valley Railroad went broke. For Tomball, the decline meant a dormant roundhouse and the closing of the 4 stock pens. The workforce for the railway was trimmed to 5 men.
1917, the headline screamed, the Lusitania torpedoed, war was declared. Men from Tomball answered the call and were sent to training camps all over the states. On the home front, ladies rolled bandages and many citizens worked in the munitions plant.
The citizens waited while the young men of our country went overseas to serve, some to give their lives.
In Flanders Field, the poppies grow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the lark still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunsets glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from falling hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field.
November 11th, 1918, the Great War ends.
Tomball celebrated. The newspaper put out an extra edition. Businesses closed. Everyone took part in the parade, and the boys came home.
1917. Main Street was spread with rock and gravel to help relieve the problem of hub-deep mud in the 300 and 400 blocks of Main Street. The Tomball Telephone Company was incorporated.
In 1923, G.W. Brodigan built a rodeo pen and began rounding up livestock for steer riding and bronc busting for the cowboys in Tomball. In 1920, the First State Bank of Tomball closed after an employee absconded to South America with $100,000 of the bank's money. In May 1921, the Guarantee Bond State Bank was established. The community hall was built about 1929, and Stalin's service station started business. It was also in 1929 that the Tomball Huff-Smith Fair Association was incorporated.
Do-wacka-doo, 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 wacka-doo, wacka-doo. The 20s surged on the scene. It was the age of flippers, flappers, and flagpole sitters, jazz and prohibition. Everyone tried to be in vogue by putting their best foot forward. The community building had a new wooden floor, and it groaned with dancing feet. Ladies and gentlemen, the twist of the 20s, the Charleston.
rumbling of oil was in 1916, when the Linebarger brothers financed an oil drilling excursion north well of Tomball Depot. In 1923, an exploration well was drilled on the J.F.W. Coates property near Rose Hill. After 29,000 feet and no oil, the drilling ceased. These efforts put dollar signs in the eyes of many landowners and dollars in the pockets of land promoters.
Step this way, ladies and gentlemen. Step this way. We are offering you a chance of a lifetime. Right here today, you can own a lot in the city of Tomball, just large enough for a Texas oil well. The lots are 25 by 25 and go straight down to where the black gold is. Now, if you will form a line over here, you can sign up and become one of the first in your community to own your own Texas oil well.
Lots were sold all over the world by mail order advertising.
Morning, Clinton.
Morning, Jake.
Your usual?
Yep.
Just set yourself down. I got the hot towels ready. Town's getting kind of busy these days with all those companies probing for oil.
Well, it ain't doing my business no harm. I can't get supplies fast enough.
Look here in the paper. Says Tomball is wide awake, and the once quiet Main Street that rumbled to an occasional farm truck has become a humming hive of activity as lease buyers, rig builders, material trucks, and other phases of the industry trundle through its main thoroughfare.
Ain't no oil down there.
Down on the farm of Judge William Martin's, the Magnolia Petroleum Company completed cement surface casting during the past week and began driving down in search of the elusive liquid.
Ain't no oil down there.
That is the second well to get underway in that section.
The Indian Hill Company has moved its rig to a site 3 miles east of Hooksmith for another test after drilling a dry hole a short distance from town.
I understand that Magnolia has erected a second rig on the Cobbs farm, ready to start a second well.
Ain't no oil down there. Well, some people believe so strongly that they're preparing for a regular oil field rush. They're enlarging their businesses, and some of the old-timers are building additional businesses for when the rush does come.
Well, like Judge Martin said, we may get oil, and then again it may be just a flurry. He seems to have plenty of work to do in the matter of legal transfers and all.
I'll still say there ain't no oil down there. One thing for sure, thousands of dollars are being invested. Someone must feel that oil is assured.
Around noon on May the 27th, 1933, on the Cobbs farm west of Tomball, at the depth of 5,600 feet, there was a rumble, a groan, and the well belched black gold 100 feet into the air.
See, I told you, there ain't no oil down there. It's all up there.
What a sight! What a mess! People came for miles around to see. Coast number 1 had come in. Tomball soon found itself a floating island of oil and gas. A forest of oil derricks now towered over land once used for farming and cattle grazing.
After the wildcat wells began producing rapidly, this placid little town found itself trickled in population. In 1933, 34, and 35, an influx of oil workers and their families moved into the Tomball oil fields. Soon, hundreds of wells were flooded in by numerous oil companies for their share of the product.
Employee camps were started and new homes were built. Bunkhouses were constructed to take care of the single men. Tomball was surely a boom town.
On the 6th day of July, 1933, the town of Tomball, Texas City Fathers convened in special session and decided to revise its charter. Mrs. D.P. McGowan was appointed to take a census of bona fide inhabitants. The census reported 655 bona fide inhabitants, 55 more than needed, and the resolution was adopted and approved on July 18, 1933. Tomball was now a city.
In 1929, the Klein brothers came to Tomball and purchased the C.F. Hoffman funeral business. And in 1933, Klein's Red and White Grocery and Dry Goods was established. In 1934, the Tomball Volunteer Fire Department was organized and soon purchased the first fire truck. The ladies of Humboldt Camp organized the Lakeview Garden Club, and 14 athletes began the Cougar football team. In 1937, the 50-member Big Red Band was organized. Things were really moving forward in Tomball. The 40s appeared on the scene, and we here in Tomball did not stagnate. New people moved to the area. The oil companies provided home sites for the employees. 1941 was a year of changes in Tomball as well as the rest of the world. The troubles in Europe caused much excitement. Our young men had to register for the draft.
Who will ever forget the day, December 7th, 1941, when the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor brought the world into chaos, the likes of which were never known.
And into the fiery conflict of arms and men that engulfed the world, the sons of Tomball stepped forward bravely to do their part.
Once again, Tomball citizens put their shoulders to the wheel with scrap drives, bond drives, and maintained the sky watch with blackouts. The oil and gas fields were pumping to the limits.
While across both seas, men from Tomball fought in jungles, on open fields, on little islands and large continents, in mud and desert sands, on lush green fields and barren rocky crests.
Who will ever forget the dauntless courage and heroic determination displayed when our boys raised the flag high? High on that tiny atoll on Iwo Jima called Mount Suribachi, a symbol to free men everywhere.
10 men of Tomball gave the supreme sacrifice on the battlefields throughout this long and bloody war.
Then came a new age, the atomic age.
The first few years of the atomic age were troubled years. The Berlin blockade, the Iron Curtain, troubles in Palestine, Cuba, and Korea. Then, when the truce was signed, another trouble spot erupted, Vietnam.
Then came the savings stamps, color TV, computers, and credit cards, and the space age.
And what was happening in Tomball?
Well, things were getting back to normal, and Tomball was recognized as Oil Town, USA in the April 1946 Coronet magazine. In 1947, a new buff feed store was built behind Klein's Grocery, and in 1949, the school built a swimming pool, and the young people were dancing.
1950. The Harris County bookmobile made regular Wednesday stops on Main Street. Miss Eunice Burnham was teaching the first kindergarten, and the Tomball Hospital opened. Henry C. Richards and his wife took over the newspaper and renamed it the Tomball New Era.
1951, the Lions Club of Tomball was founded.
1954, Tomball got sanitary sewers.
1955, the North Harris County Fair ended and Spring Creek Park was built.
1956, a new Masonic Hall was built on King Street.
1958, Southwestern Bell and the Dial System and the Tomball Garden Club.
1959, Margie Huguenin became the first lady postmaster, and the kids were dancing the jitterbug.
We're going hopping today, where things are popping. Philadelphia way, we're gonna drop it. On all the music they play on a bandstand. We're going swinging, we're gonna swing in the crowd, and we'll be swinging. Golden eyes and clouds, the phones are ringing. My mom and dad are so proud, I'm on a bandstand. And I'll jump that day, I'll make even though my handstand. Because I'm on the American bandstand. When we dance real slow, so all the guys in the grandstand. What a swinger I am on American bandstand. We're going hopping today, where things are popping. The Philadelphia way, we're gonna drop it. On all the music they play on the bandstand.
1960, new water well and water meters.
1961. The talk in Tomball that year was the fire that destroyed the high school on Main Street.
1962, the dedication of the new high school on October 5th and the city annexed to a size of 9 square miles.
1965, Klein's Funeral Home was built. The city got mercury vapor lights.
1966, the Houston Lighting and Power Company opened a new office in Tomball.
1967, David Wayne Hooks Memorial Airport, the largest privately owned airport in the nation, and the hospital auxiliary.
1969, Klein's Supermarket.
And the kids were dancing
The Jerk.
Judy in the sky. Well, that's what you are. A lemonade pie. With a brand new car. Cantaloupe eyes. Judy in the sky. With glasses. Keep a wearing your bracelets. And you're all done. Across your heart, yeah, with your heavy frown. I just be strawberry eyes, beauty in the sky. But that's it. Come to me tonight. Come to me tonight. Take me right inside. The strings of my kite. Judy in the sky, hey, that's what you call a lemonade pie. Hey, got your brand new car. Cantaloupe eyes, come to me tonight. Judy in the sky, with glasses.
kids. Rock and roll and a generation gap as wide as the Grand Canyon. The 60s meant funky, the swim, the crawl, and the vocabulary. I always thought you cooked in a pot. And how about the wardrobe? Or should I say threads? And the hairstyles? The hair. I'm so confused most of the time. Susie, stop that.
I'm not Susie, Dad. I'm Brad.
See what I mean? Our family has an identity crisis. The only thing I'm sure of is that I am still the man of the house, and I am...
Harold! Oh, Harold! I'm home, darling. Have you had a busy day? Kids get on your nerves? Boy, I'm simply blushed. What a day I've had at the office. First, my secretary was late. Said he got caught in traffic. I tell you, Harold, it's a rat race out there. You don't know how lucky you are to just stay at home and be a homemaker. I have just got to rest. Darling, where are my slippers? And oh, by the way, what's for dinner?
A liver. A real woman's liver.
Oh, what did you say?
Liver. We are having liver for dinner.
What time is it?
It's gotta be 1970.
1971, Winslow Nursing Home opened and Ford Chevrolet Service moved to a spacious location outside of the city on Highway 149.
1972, dedication of the new Harris County Public Library. The organization of the Chaparral Genealogical Society. Tomball National Little League Baseball and Tomball Cougars claimed the quarterfinals and were ranked 8th in state.
1973, coffee was still a nickel at Ward's Pharmacy, and the new Cougar Stadium was built on Sandy Lane.
1974, the first issue of The Roadrunner.
1975, the VFW builds a new building.
1976, the Tomball Community Hospital opened, the Optimist Club sold Christmas trees, and the new post office opened at 500 Main Street.
1977, Autumn Hills Nursing Home.
And what were the young people up to?
Today, in the 1980s, Tomball, with the rest of the world, looks to the future at the troubled economy and the unrest in various parts of the world, problems in energy and a building boom. The Tomball area has no place to go but up.
Frontier is not an Indian wilderness such as found by the early settlers of Texas.
Frontiers loom anew for each era, century, and generation. The challenge, however, will remain the same as in 1823, when the first settlers arrived under the leadership of Stephen Austin.
challenge of yesterday. Today, knowledge has replaced the brawn, for the frontiers of tomorrow must be subdued by the forces of the human mind. A mind bent upon preserving liberty in the world through law and laws of liberty. The ordeal of the 20th century, the bloodiest, most turbulent era of the Christian age, is far from over. Sacrifice, patience, understanding, implacable purpose may be our lot for years to come.
The key to the future lies in our people of the present. Will they build to make an even greater tomorrow for Tomball? Will they hold forth these great principles of freedom, equality, and democracy? May we be proud to lift up our hearts and say, we are Americans.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Tomball 75th Jubilee has been produced and directed by the Rogers Company. Philip R. Frable, John Branswith, Dennis Guilfoyle, Margaret Griffin, and Ronnie Treese, the professional staff.
Narrators for this evening's production have been
Carla Sandoval, Carolyn Brewer,
Earl Oldham,
E.M. Fry,
Martin Pollock.
Events of special interest tomorrow, Industry Day, 9 o'clock until 4 o'clock p.m., displays. One at the east end of the junior high parking lot, sponsored by Southwest Metal Fabricators, Perlite of Houston, and Pressure Titan Corporation. Replica of the Exxon Discovery wellhead at the old City Hall on Cherry Street. Daily exhibit of farm implements and equipment at the museum on Pine Street. 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock p.m. An industry tour sponsored by Dresser Titan East Tomball. Pre-pageant activities tomorrow evening, the Alabama Pajado Indians. The fourth performance tomorrow evening at 8:30. Friday evening, VFW Western Dance, and Saturday at 2 o'clock p.m., the Golden Jubilee Parade.
The Executive Committee of the Greater Tomball Area Diamond Jubilee Celebration wish to thank you for your attendance here tonight. If you have enjoyed tonight's performance, knock on your neighbor's door and tell them about it. If by chance you didn't like the performance, don't knock. Remember, when you go home tonight, be sure to take time to drive safely. The life you save may be mine. Good night.